The Johnsons were a typical family of four, living in a modest suburban home. They had their ups and downs, but they always stuck together. John, the father, worked tirelessly as a mechanic. His hands were always greasy, and his back often ached, but he took pride in his work. Sarah, the mother, managed their home and cared for their two energetic children, Emily and Ethan. She juggled household chores, school runs, and playdates with a smile. They were a loving family, always trying their best to support each other. Their home was filled with laughter, love, and the occasional sibling squabble. But behind their smiles, a silent struggle brewed. Life wasn't always easy. Money was tight, and unexpected expenses often threw them off balance. Each month it felt like they were running a race against their bills, a race they were constantly losing. The stress of making ends meet was relentless. The weight of unpaid credit card bills and looming loan payments pressed down on them. It was a heavy burden that seemed to grow with each passing day. They yearned for financial freedom, for a life where money wasn't a constant source of stress. They dreamed of a future where they could breathe easy. The stress was taking its toll. John and Sarah were often exhausted, their patience wearing thin. The weight of their financial struggles was evident in their tired eyes. Arguments about finances became more frequent. The tension in the house was palpable, and it was affecting everyone, including the children. The joy seemed to be draining from their lives, replaced by a constant undercurrent of worry. Something had to change. They couldn't go on like this. Little did they know a turning point was just around the corner. A glimmer of hope was about to enter their lives, promising a brighter future. The Johnsons' financial struggles weren't due to extravagant spending habits. They weren't buying fancy cars or designer clothes. Their downfall was a slow and insidious creep of debt. Credit card balances grew from seemingly harmless everyday purchases. The car loan, a necessity, felt heavier each month. They tried to make ends meet. John worked overtime whenever possible, sacrificing precious time with his family. Sarah scoured grocery store flyers for the best deals, clipping coupons with a fervor that bordered on desperation. But despite their efforts, the debt remained, a dark cloud hanging over their lives. The weight of their financial burden was suffocating. They were drowning, desperately gasping for air, but each breath brought them closer to the suffocating depths of despair. They knew they couldn't continue like this, but the way out seemed shrouded in darkness. One evening, while scrolling through social media, Sarah stumbled upon a video blog. It featured a family, much like theirs, who had successfully paid off a mountain of debt and achieved financial freedom. Their story resonated deeply with Sarah. She called John over, her voice filled with a mix of hope and skepticism. Together, they watched as the family shared their journey, their struggles, their strategies, and ultimately, their triumph. For the first time in a long time, a glimmer of hope flickered in their hearts. The family in the video emphasized the importance of budgeting, of tracking every dollar that came in and went out. They talked about the power of living below their means, of making conscious choices to prioritize saving and debt repayment over instant gratification. It was a message that resonated deeply with the Johnsons. Inspired by the video, the Johnsons decided to take a hard look at their spending habits. They gathered their receipts, bank statements, and credit card bills, spreading them out on their kitchen table like a daunting jigsaw puzzle. As they began to piece together their financial picture, a startling realization hit them. Their grocery bills were significantly higher than they had realized. Impulse purchases, snacks for the kids, and meals eaten out of convenience were draining their bank account. It was a revelation that would change their approach to finances forever. They realized that their grocery shopping habits were a microcosm of their overall financial approach. They were living in the moment, making decisions based on convenience and desire rather than planning and prioritizing. It was time for a change. Embracing the challenge. Armed with newfound determination, the Johnsons decided to set an audacious goal, save $20,000 in 1 year. It seemed like an insurmountable task, but they were determined to break free from the shackles of debt and build a better future for themselves and their children. They started by creating a detailed budget, tracking every dollar they earned and spent. They identified areas where they could cut back, such as dining out less, reducing entertainment expenses, and finding more affordable alternatives for everyday purchases. The Johnsons knew that achieving their goal would require a united front. They sat down with their children, explaining the importance of saving money and making responsible choices. To their surprise, Emily and Ethan were excited to be involved, eager to contribute to the family's financial well-being. Small victories, big impact. The first few months were the hardest. Old habits die hard, and there were times when the Johnsons were tempted to revert to their old ways. But they persevered, reminding themselves of their goals and the reasons behind their commitment to financial change. They celebrated small victories along the way. Each time they paid off a credit card bill, they felt a surge of accomplishment. When they managed to stick to their grocery budget for a month, they rejoiced in their collective discipline. The Johnsons discovered the power of meal planning. Sarah would spend an hour each week planning their meals for the week ahead, making a grocery list and sticking to it religiously. They started cooking more meals at home, involving the children in the process and teaching them valuable life skills along the way. Weathering the storms. Their journey wasn't without its challenges. The Johnsons, like many families, faced numerous hurdles that tested their resolve and unity. Unexpected expenses popped up, threatening to derail their progress. From medical bills to home repairs, it seemed like there was always something demanding their attention and resources. The car broke down, requiring costly repairs. This was a significant blow, as the car was essential for their daily commute and errands. Ethan needed a new pair of eyeglasses. His vision had changed, and the old pair was no longer sufficient, adding another unexpected cost to their list. But instead of panicking, the Johnsons faced these obstacles head-on. They gathered as a family, discussed their options, and made a plan to tackle each challenge. They dipped into their emergency fund, a small but growing safety net they had established early on. This fund provided a crucial buffer, allowing them to manage the immediate financial strain. They adjusted their budget, finding ways to cut back in other areas to compensate for the unforeseen expenses. This meant more home-cooked meals, fewer outings, and a stricter adherence to their financial plan. Through it all, they remained committed to their goal, knowing that setbacks were a part of life, but didn't have to derail their progress. They celebrated small victories and kept their spirits high. The Johnsons learned the importance of flexibility and adaptability. They understood that life was unpredictable, and being able to adjust their plans was key to their success. They realized that their budget wasn't meant to be a rigid set of rules, but rather a fluid plan that could be adjusted as needed. This mindset shift was crucial in helping them navigate their financial journey. They embraced the unexpected, knowing that they had the tools and the resilience to overcome any obstacle that came their way. With each challenge, they grew stronger and more united, ready to face whatever the future held. A year of transformation. As the months turned into a year, something remarkable happened. The Johnsons, who had once felt overwhelmed by their financial struggles, began to see the fruits of their labor. The Johnsons had not only reached their goal of saving $20,000, but they had also developed a newfound sense of confidence and accomplishment. This journey was more than just about money. It was about personal growth and transformation. They had undergone a profound change, both individually and as a family. They were no longer the same family that had once felt trapped beneath a mountain of debt. The stress and anxiety that once clouded their days had lifted. They had discovered the power of financial literacy, understanding the importance of budgeting, saving, and investing. By making informed choices and taking control of their money, they had turned their financial situation around. They had learned the importance of communication, openly discussing their financial goals and challenges. Working together as a team, they achieved their shared goals, strengthening their bond and trust in the process. And most importantly, they had rediscovered the joy in their lives. A joy that had been overshadowed by financial stress for far too long. Their home was filled with laughter once again. The simple pleasures of life, like sharing a meal or playing a game, brought them closer together. Their home was filled with laughter once again. The simple pleasures of life, like sharing a meal or playing a game, brought them closer together. The arguments about money had ceased, replaced by conversations about their dreams for the future. They began to dream again, sketching out plans for vacations, new experiences, and even future investments. They had created a legacy of financial responsibility for their children, teaching them valuable lessons that would last a lifetime. The Johnsons' journey was not just about overcoming debt, it was about building a foundation for a brighter, more secure future for generations to come. The future is bright. With $20,000 in savings, the Johnsons were no longer living paycheck to paycheck. They had a safety net, a buffer against life's unexpected turns. They had also developed healthy financial habits that would serve them well for years to come. Their journey had taught them that financial freedom wasn't about depriving themselves, it was about making conscious choices that aligned with their values. It was about finding joy in the simple things, in spending quality time with loved ones, and in pursuing their passions without the constant worry of money. The Johnson story is a testament to the power of perseverance, discipline, and the unwavering belief in a brighter future. It's a reminder that no matter how dire the circumstances may seem, there is always hope, and with the right mindset and a commitment to change, anything is possible.